I want to turn to a Senate hearing that's been underway here in Canberra this afternoon. Two former ministers, Julie Bishop and Christopher Pyne, have been asked questions today. They didn't appear in person but dialed into this committee, all about their post-politics jobs and whether ministerial code of conduct rules have been broken. We know there was already an inquiry held by the head of the Prime Minister's department which gave them the all clear. Nonetheless, senators wanted to ask them some questions directly today. Let's go to political reporter Eliza Edwards, who's been following this. I listened in a little bit to the evidence this afternoon. Didn't sound like any smoking guns there, Eliza. What did they have to say?
Yeah, that's right, David. No smoking guns, but both former ministers on the defensive. Julie Bishop defending her decision to take a role at the foreign aid firm Palladium on the board there. Just within weeks of resigning from politics, ministers are prevented from taking on lobbying roles within 18 months of leaving Parliament because of concerns that private companies would use that expertise to their advantage. Now, Ms Bishop says she understands and will comply with the rules and told the committee she won't be sharing any of her vast contact list of other countries' foreign ministers. But crossbench Senator Rex Patrick made the point that Ms Bishop can't unknow what she knows, and how could she ensure that the information she was privy to doesn't influence decision-making at Palladium?
So, for example, if you are aware of future projects that the Department of Foreign Affairs is intending to conduct, and you were asked the question, where should we invest our money? How would you decompartmentalise the fact that you're aware of areas where money is likely to be spent by the department in the future?
Well, Senator, in relation to that example, the priorities of the aid budget from the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade are extremely transparent. Most of the information that I can think of is public, and during my time as Foreign Minister, tenders were managed at arm's length from the Minister.
David, Ms Bishop also came under fire from Labor for describing the ministerial standards as voluntary. Senator Jenny McAllister wanted to get to the bottom of what gave Ms Bishop that impression, and it prompted an interesting admission from the former minister.
Has Mr Morrison ever communicated to you that he considers the statement of ministerial standards voluntary?
I've not had that discussion with him at any time, as I recall, but
did Mr Turnbull ever? Well, did Mr Turnbull, which is perhaps more relevant to your period in government?
Well, when Mr Turnbull was Prime Minister, I was not planning to retire from the Cabinet.
David, Christopher Pyne was targeted over his decision to list himself as a lobbyist for defence firm Ernst & Young. Labor arguing that directly contravenes the ministerial standards, and they wanted to know whether Mr Pyne had been upfront with the Secretary of the Prime Minister's Department, who was investigating these jobs.
Did you tell Dr Parkinson that you would be registered as a lobbyist on the Commonwealth Lobbyist Register?
Yes.
Right.
Well, probably.
Well, can I ask you to reflect on that answer? Probably doesn't get us very far. I guess I'm asking whether or not you told him that you would be registered as a lobbyist on the Commonwealth Lobbyist Register. You weren't at the time he spoke with you.
Well, no, Senator, it's sort of axiomatic that if you're the part owner of a lobbying firm, that you would register on as many registers of lobbyists as states or the Commonwealth where you were doing business.
Now, Palladium has also appeared at this afternoon's Senate committee. It says it won't ask anything of Ms Bishop that would break the rules. David?
Well, there you go. Eliza, thank you very much for that. Got to say, neither Julie Bishop nor Christopher Pyne looked terribly troubled or stressed by the questions they were facing from senators right across the spectrum there this afternoon. Anyway, we'll see what the committee ends up reporting in relation to these post-ministerial roles for Julie Bishop and Christopher Pyne.